Good morning, all. Good morning, everyone, and thank you a lot for the invitation. It's very nice to be back in this circle. I've followed this project from the beginning, and also its ancestors, let's say, in the previous years. And so I'm very happy to see that you are still very active, and despite all the difficulties. Caused by the COVID pandemic, you've been working hard nevertheless. I'm here today in another capacity, so under the European Labour Authority, and I'm very happy to present to you what we've been doing so far in this newly established agency, which is turning 1 year old in these days. So we have just celebrated the first meeting of the management board last year on the 16th of October of 2019. And of course, for the lifetime of an institution, this is basically nothing. Nevertheless, the things I can present to you today are still very important, and we took quite important steps in this over this year, despite, of course, the difficulties caused by the pandemics, which has not spared the Labour Authority staff. So. Just to be sure that we are on the same page, ELA has four main objectives. Probably the most famous one is strengthening cooperation between national authorities in enforcing European labor mobility legislation, and we will see in a minute what this includes. But we also have other objectives, including facilitating access to information and services to cross-border workers, citizens, employers, mediating administrative disputes between the member states, and supporting cooperation in tackling undeclared work. These four objectives translate into 7 concrete tasks, including as I was saying, facilitating access to information and services, of which I'm personally coordinator. But there is also, let's say, a package of tasks related to the strengthening of administrative cooperation between national authorities, which is included between the tasks 2 and 4, let's say, that you see. The most, let's say, famous of all of these tasks is the coordination and support of concerted and joint inspections. And I will, of course, deepen a little bit about that. But the authority is doing other things, including analysis and risk assessments, including capacity building, which means more or less training national European national labor authority staff and so the social partners, tackling undeclared work, and mediating disputes. Now, all of these 7 tasks apply in a particular scope, which is quite defined by the labor mobility legislation, and includes social security coordination. So as you can see, our mandate is including the legislation of free movement of workers, including the EURES regulation. EURES is the European Network of Employment Services, and it's quite an important job search portal for European job seekers and employers willing to hire from another country. Posting of workers, so the entire body of legislation there, social security coordination, and the social aspects of international road transport rules. Now, in this setting, what are our resources? So right now we are about 55 people and growing. We should get up to 60 people by the end of this year. And of course, I mean, it's probably less a matter for you, but it's quite a matter for us. The the activity that we can carry out are proportionate to the staff we have. Um, but very, very importantly, we are including now 18 national liaison officers, and the national liaison officers are have a particular status in ELA, and represent also quite an added value for this organization. National liaison officers are one from each member state. So 18 are those that have managed to join the authorities of September, but we at the beginning of 2021 we will welcome the remaining ones. And their task is to be the liaison, so the national contact point between national authorities, so the entire set of national authorities that are competent on the legislation that we are responsible for, and the ELA. They have thus, let's say, on a vertical coordination role between the European level and their member state, but also a horizontal coordination role between the member states. The idea is that if there is a problem of coordination or exchange of information between, let's say, Poland and Italy, then there are two people sitting, well, now virtually in the same space, but in a normal life, they would be sitting shoulder to shoulder, and no, they talk to each other. And that's we are seeing right now. They only joined the authorities since a month now, but we can already see the added value of having people that know exactly the institutions in their country. They know whom to turn to when there is a problem, and of course, this facilitates our life and like consequentially also the life of national ministries when dealing with cross-border matters. The the management structure of VELA is basically resting on member states and social partners. You know? So we have one representative from each member state in our management board, representatives from the Commission, representatives from the EU level social partners, and an independent expert appointed by the European Parliament. An executive director is about to be selected. So in the coming weeks, we will know. For the moment, it's the Commission director who is giving an interim the director to the ELA, but the new and real, let's say, executive director will be selected very soon. And then we have a special, say, chamber for the social partners, which is called the stakeholder group, in which 10 representatives of union level social partners are convening in order to discuss issues and to provide advice to the ELA and to the management board. I talked about 7 tasks, but of course, given the priorities and the resources of ELA in this first year, the management board has given the 2 main work priorities for this year, which is developing the tasks of access to information and developing the task of inspection. So I will focus very briefly on these 2, which doesn't exclude, of course, that we have started work already also on the other task. It's only that work on the other task is more delayed towards the next year. In both information and inspections, we have set up working groups with experts from the member states, from the social partners, and these working groups are a bit not a continuous forum of exchange and decision. These working groups in the information field, for instance, is exchanging practices, is getting to explore how member states and the EU provide information online and in the future also in the service, offline, let's say, to explain to citizens, to workers, to employers what the rights and obligations are under EU labor mobility legislation. We have started activities in many ways. At the EU level, we are reviewing the information available on EU websites, and we will see how to improve where necessary the provision set there. We have made we are starting to work on national posting websites, uh, not not to see whether member states are complying with the legislation. This is the task of the Commission, but we are trying to help the member states in developing the information that is there. Yeah, so that's in the end quite important, and it's very important also that we offer some support to translate the information that is present on these websites into other languages. In the future, of course, this initial activities will expand, and we will try, we will progressively deal not only with posting, which was probably the priority this year, but also with other fields in labor mobility. On inspections, we have worked quite hard to set first the procedures, the tools that we need in order to support cross-border inspections. And one of the main achievements of this year is, of course, that we have not only developed these tools, but we have started testing them with pilot inspections. So in the month of September, 3 pilot inspections were carried out with the support of ELA, which helped us to test how our procedures and tools are useful in a context. It's a very difficult, probably not difficult, but complex process to steer. It's not something that can happen from night to day, and therefore it's quite an achievement that we did so. And of course, time will help us also to consolidating these procedures, to involving the widest number of member states as possible, and of course to continue other side ancillary activities like the training program for labor inspectors. So the idea is to create an ecosystem at the European level that speaks more or less a same language when talking to each other, which is not evident at all. So what is happening in the future? Well, the move to Bratislava, which is the official, which will be the official seat of the ELA, is foreseen during the first half of 2021, and at the December meeting of the management board, the board will adopt the work program for the next year, as well as the single programming document 2022-2024, which provides an overview of ELA activities, a projection of ELA activities until 2024. So it's quite an important programming document for us. That being said, I'm very happy to take any questions if necessary, and thank you very much for the opportunity to present here.